Want to see what happens when cars get mad? Welcome to Full Metal Challenge. Welcome to Full Metal Challenge, the Olympics for cars, the World Series for motors, and for petrol heads, heaven on earth. We overhauled this old power station on the south coast of England to make it a fairground for cars, with 9 games designed to push vehicles to the limit in every imaginable way.
Because the ambition of Full Metal Challenge is no less than to find the toughest, speediest, most agile, versatile and robust warrior vehicle in the known universe.
The next problem we faced was finding people unhinged enough to build these monster machines and come pay our warped funfair a visit. We scoured the globe looking for 27 teams of the most ingenious engineers and daredevil drivers.
Our choice teams have come from all corners of the world, from Chile to China, Iceland to India. All 5 continents will be in attendance at this first ever World Series for cars.
We gave them 1 month and a budget of $3,000 and told them to build a machine to decimate the opposition in any madcap game they could dream of.
They don't know yet what those games are, but what they do know is at stake is a place in the semi-finals. Let's meet our teams.
First up, a team of reenactment addicts, the Battle Bodgers from Stoke-on-Trent in England.
We are the Battle Bodgers and we declare war!
And they'll be riding into battle on their sturdy steed, Pure Adrenaline.
Our youngest team, the Snow Diggers, are from Quebec in Canada.
We're the Snow Diggers and we're gonna bury you!
The machine they're hoping to crush the opposition with, the Steel Survivor.
And classic car restorers, the Autobahn Boys from Bremen in Germany.
We are the Autobahn Boys, and German engineering is the best.
And they'll be hoping to wipe out the competition with their beast, Humongous.
Through the course of the day, our newbies will be initiated in 3 very different games. After the 3rd game, the team at the bottom will be sent, draped in a cloak of shame, to our Chimney of Doom. The winning 2 teams go on to our most violent battle, Cars Sumo. Only one will survive. They've been preparing for months, and here they are.
Welcome, Canada, Germany, and Britain. Let's get on with the games.
You know what I hate about bowling? The shoes. They look bad, they're always a rental, and you never knew who wore them before you. They're disgusting. Today's contestants don't have to worry about any stinking shoes. All they've got to do is not get killed while they mow down 12-foot-high bowling pins with their car. So today I'd like to say allô and bonsoir to our friends the Snow Diggers from French Canada. Welcome to my world of pain and humiliation, otherwise known as 10-pin.
Poor old Jonathan doesn't know what he's in for. When the Snow Diggers were building their machine, they probably didn't quite imagine this. Coming in just under the maximum 3-ton weight limit, Steel Survivor is a hefty vehicle, powered by a 220 brake horsepower engine. With large tracks to get it over any obstacles and a hydraulically operated front bumper to fend off the opposition, the Steel Survivor looks unlikely to be a victim of FMC's natural selection.
And with all that bulk, Jonathan shouldn't balk at our pins, though they do weigh a hefty 150 pounds each. But will those massive tracks be enough to give him traction on our alley when we've drenched it in soapy water? Here we go. Let's see if you guys are gonna make it or go home. He'll get 2 chances to decimate as many jumbo pins as he can. Despite the slipperiness, he seems to have pretty good control down the alley. 4 down. Oh, but he's managing to turn it. Amazing control, and he takes down another 4. Wow! So, fellas, how do you think your boy did? Good, bad? Good.
The rules say that you can't stop or reverse on the course, so when he makes that turn, Jonathan makes sure he keeps just enough forward motion on at least one of those tracks to keep the referees quiet.
Now he's getting into position to do his worst on those last two. And he does! 10!
Well, a no-brainer there. All the pins are down, and it looks like you guys get to stay around for a while.
It doesn't get much better than 10.
Yes.
How was that?
It was fine. Besides the two little mirror brackets bended, but almost nothing
well,
there.
that was straight before.
Yeah, that was straight,
Well,
yeah.
if that's all the injury you've sustained, I think you've done pretty well.
I believe that's the only thing that happened in that course. I believe that nothing's been damaged besides your Skittles.
They're looking all right. They're good for another run.
All right.
So do you reckon this actually seems like the advantage that you had with tracks for this game?
Yes, I believe that it's a great advantage because you get to stay more stable.
Yeah.
And it's easier to steer even though if it's very, very slippery. Actually, it's a very, very slippery plate. I couldn't figure how much slippery it was.
Right.
I believe it's the first time that this thing goes, that skids like this.
You've set an unbeatable task for team number 2. Let's get on
right.
with it.
Hey, Uli,
Yeah?
this is your first run on 10 pins. You're from Germany. You're in the Autobahn boys, and this is your vehicle, Humongous. You think you're going to win?
I think so.
I think you will, too. All
I'm
right,
on
my
holiday
man.
in here to run.
Well, you're going to do great. Good luck. Start it up, and let's get it on.
Weighing just under 2 tons with a massive 350 brake horsepower engine, Humongous has an excellent power-to-weight ratio. A locked transfer case gives constant four-wheel drive, while substantial suspension should give a smooth ride. And with a top speed of 110 miles an hour, the other vehicles might have to run to keep up.
That's an intimidating vehicle, man.
There he goes. He's taking it quite gently up the alley. Oh, but now he's not. Off Wiedersehen, pins.
All right.
He teases us with a gentle approach, but then he reaches the pins and Humongous roars.
You hear scream, Humongous? Huh? You hear it scream? It's screaming for mercy.
I think it's our pins who are screaming for mercy. And Humongous roars again. 10!
Uli, 10 for the Germans.
Hello.
Hey, how was
Great.
that? Was that fun?
That's a game. Like the ball in a game.
Now talk me through your strategy, because when you were coming down the alley,
Yeah.
it looked like you were going slightly stuttery, and we thought you were going to wimp out, but then you powered it into the Skittles.
Yeah, it must be. It was so slippery, but
Is that so you were losing traction on the
yeah.
alley?
You lost the traction on the soap.
But then you managed to pick up speed again
Yeah.
and actually do a bit of damage to our Skittles.
I will all kick away.
So Humongous looking good so far.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
On with the Battle Bodgers.
I'm here with the Battle Bodgers vehicle, Pure Adrenaline. The driver's name is Magic. Magic, how you doing, man?
Okay.
You ready to do it?
Yeah. Easy.
I know you can do it. All right, start your engine, sir. Let's do it.
The middleweight today at 2.2 tonnes, Pure Adrenaline is powered by a 300 brake horsepower engine. Solid steel wheel guards protect against side collisions, while an adjustable ram could be handy for moving obstacles. An articulated pivot gives a tighter turning circle, but a lack of suspension could make Pure Adrenaline a heart-stopping ride.
Magic might need his heart pills for this run. With 210s to beat in a dumper truck as your steed, it's enough to give anyone the cold sweats. And off Magic goes to battle. The adversary? Just 10 overweight out-of-shape bowling pins. Ooh! He was a bit unlucky here, but aren't the British always? But those pins just didn't fall well, making it a near impossible job for run 2. All right, you guys, Magic has his work cut out for him. He's got to get 5 pins down. One is all the way over there. You think he can do it?
If you can hit that first one on the group, and then
On the way round.
hard right, with the manoeuvrability we've got, we stand a chance of doing it.
Well, let's see
Whether
how
he's
he goes.
thinking that same as us, don't know.
Come on, come on, come on.
We can do this.
Off he goes. All right.
That dumper truck's going like the clappers down the alley. Bet she didn't go like this on the building site. He cleanly takes out the group of 4, but there's just no way he can get that last one.
Good fly.
Magic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's attractive. In most bowling games, 9 would be a pretty respectable score, but
Oh, well,
is there any way you could have got that extra one, do you think? Was that just a physical impossibility?
impossible. Like goalposts.
Talk me through your steering, because it seems like you do about 25 turns of the wheel to go about an inch to the left or right.
That's right, because it's a hydraulic steering system,
Right,
and it stays in the middle of the machine instead of on the front of the wheels. So
right.
a bit more effort to turn, but we've got more manoeuvrability when we do turn.
So
that's
you
why
think in other games this actually could, your swivelly weirdness, eccentric Britishness could be
Yeah, hopefully,
an advantage?
hopefully. We'll find out.
Well done. Sadly, the losers of this game.
Okay.
In FMC, it's 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, and 0 points for failing to finish. This time, those dastardly double-top runs by both the Germans and Canadians mean that they share the big money and get 2.5 points apiece, while the Brits stagger home in third, picking up a pathetic 1 point.
Remember, our teams have had just 1 month and a very limited budget to cobble their beasts together. Let's find out how the Snowdiggers did theirs.
The Snowdiggers design is steeped in history. In 1970, Benoit's father built this monster to make snowmobile trails.
This is my father, and this machine is the father of our machine.
The Snowdiggers plan to use the same design, only bigger and better.
This machine is unstoppable.
A rusting Cadillac provided the engine,
Ah, it's perfect!
while 8 wheels, 2 transmissions and 5 axles provided the running gear needed to get the build underway.
This is the Steel Survivor sprocket, and what they are meant to is to move the entire machine, so it's giving us a lot more traction than a car or a truck. It's been 2 weeks since we have started this FMC project, and we must have spent at least 250 hours between the 3 of us.
2 weeks on and Steel Survivor's hour of reckoning had finally arrived.
So I've got to tell you, this is a fantastically impressive machine. What is your top speed on this?
I believe this thing could go at 60 or 65 miles per hour.
Wow. Have any of you driven it at 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, not that much. We actually tried it at 35 or 40 miles per hour, but it was dark in the night, so we couldn't see where we were going.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best time to go because you're not afraid. You don't see anything.
Now, when you're going at that sort of speed, you've got no suspension in this
No,
thing,
not
have
at
you?
all.
Is it rather an uncomfortable ride?
Kind of, but sometimes all you can feel is the bumps, not the holes. Yes, exactly, and that's an advantage because if you have a normal kind of suspension, every wheels goes in every holes. But if you take this system, there's
You just go straight
yes,
over
it
the
goes
top.
always straight, so we would not sink.
Excellent. Let's get on with the next one.
Yes, exactly.
The Snowdiggers might think they're on top of the world, but coming up next is bumper cars. Slamming into obstacles to score points and trying to get to them before someone else does, or before they slam into you.
Don't go flipping. Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, the most fun you can have in a neck brace.
And the Snowdiggers are in the lead because of this.
But they're not there on their own because the Autobahn boys also toppled the Big Ten on the alley, and that's not the only reason the Canadians should be afraid.
because apparently the Germans can do 0 to 100 in 6 seconds.
And both might come in handy when you're racing to get to lit-up bumpers before the next guy, which they will be.
As classic car restorers, the Autobahn boys certainly know how to put a vehicle together. But their design for Full Metal Challenge was less about aesthetics and more about endurance.
We must build a strong car for a strong competition, not only for show.
Surprisingly, when it came to a donor vehicle, the team chose to go with an American Chevy rather than a German car.
So we chose this vehicle because it's a four-wheel drive, automatic transmission, V8 engine, so it's easy to drive, has enough power, and we got it for free, and this is the most reason.
2 weeks of hard work later and the Chevy had been transformed. Udo's main priority now was rebuilding and tuning the massive 7.4-litre engine, while Uli and Christian were busy creating bodywork to match the vehicle's raw power.
Must have an aggressive look. I think we made it.
And here we show you Humongous.
So would you describe this as a typically German vehicle?
Yeah, mostly you found on autobahns.
Yes.
I drive it to maybe 120 kilometers on a field.
Wow. And the name Humongous is from where?
It's from Christian. He has seen too much Mad Max videos, and at the time we built the vehicle.
Yeah. When we started building, I came home late at night and can't sleep. I would take a video in, and it was Mad Max 2, and I saw Humongous, and say, yeah, that's it. He's crazy.
You had a vision.
I had color of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay, well, enough talk about Humongous. We want to see it in action. So let's get on with the next game.
Have you ever seen a moth flying around a light bulb and every few seconds it slams its little head into it and you think to yourself, man, I'm glad I'm not a moth, because that's gotta hurt. Well, every single time you see one of these guys slam their vehicle into every obstacle that lights up, you gotta figure that every moth watching is thinking to itself, I'm glad I'm not a human in a hand-welded vehicle, because BAM! That's gotta hurt.
The object of the game is to hit as many obstacles as possible within the time limit. The short, fat ones score 50 points, the tall, skinny ones score 20 points, but only when they're lit up.
But even getting to them isn't easy as the surface is extremely slippery. And once each bumper's been hit, it won't light up again for another 35 seconds. But shh, the drivers don't know that.
If any driver hits any obstacle at any other time, they get nothing but bruises. The highest points wins.
So, will the breakneck speed of the Germans' Mad Max Mobile beat the maneuverability of the Brits' dumper truck? Or will the sheer size of those Canadians frighten them all into submission? Let's play bumper cars! Let the human-sized pinball game begin! They're used to battle and it's first blood for the battle bodgers. But this is war, and those Germans are using all the speed of that massive engine to avoid defeat. It's 50! The Brits' dumper truck lively maneuvers into position for another 20. The beast Humongous is out of control. Oi! No points for cameramen!
The Canadians haven't scored yet. They're being outpaced and outmaneuvered in this one.
The dumper truck is on a pure adrenaline mission.
But he misses the obstacle. Magic? What was that? Maybe that articulated steering isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Christian isn't going to make the same mistake for Canada. And they're on the scoreboard. Humongous doesn't know the meaning of subtlety. Bam! He's asking for a speeding ticket. You can tell he's been practicing on the Autobahn. And the Germans are winning. That won't do. Come on, you Brits. Come on, Canada. And the Canadians are getting the hang of it. It's another big one for them. And they celebrate with a victory dance. But the Germans are taking no prisoners. Ooh!
The Brits have got the knack of that dumper's weirdo steering, and they're in second place.
No bonus points for Whiplash. If they can't do it with speed or agility, the Canadians will do it with brute force. Merci, monsieur. Magic's rear guard action picks up a 50 and puts the Brits on top. The Germans seem to be going for moving targets as well as static ones now. Achtung, baby! It's a race to get to the last bumper still standing. The Brits have hit it, but that doesn't stop the Canadians from having a go.
I think it must be nearly time to call this game over.
There's nothing left to destroy.
Carnage abounds and the game is over. What a bloodbath. The teams don't know the official scores yet, but the Brits are celebrating anyway.
What can we do?
My favourite bit was when your fellow actually had the, I think it was the British team, hooked up on your thing on the front.
Yeah, it
Deliberate manoeuvre, do you think?
No, never. No.
We're all friends.
That was good,
boy.
Germans, we quite liked this game, didn't we?
Yeah, it's really great. Look, Humongous looking smart. Had a little Popeye that.
He's smiling front.
Humongous was built for this game.
He lost just one or two teeth.
Okay, I've been given the scores from the referees. It was quite a tight judgment because a lot of obstacles were actually hit when they were lying dead on the floor. So anyway, here we go. The Autobahn boys, the German team, scored 160 points. Very respectable score.
160.
The Canadians, the Snow Diggers, also scored 160 points.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. But the winners of this game with 220 points are the
So Magic's magic driving showed us what that dumper truck's really made of. He picks up a handy 3 points for the Brits. And again, there's nothing separating the Canadians and the Germans. They get 1.5 points apiece.
So overall, it couldn't be any closer, with all three teams on level pegging with 4 points each.
Well, after their narrow defeat in Tenpin, the British team, the Battle Bodgers, turned it around in bumper cars and all in a converted dumper truck. Let's find out how they built it.
The Battle Bodgers are no strangers to combat, but for this challenge they needed a sturdy steed to carry them into battle. So they followed a now well-trodden path and bagged a 4-ton dumper truck.
Got a good chassis, good articulation in the chassis, easy to work on.
But as we've already seen, a dumper's hydraulic pump is notoriously unreliable and the ride is rarely smooth. Undeterred, the Bodgers got stuck in.
Been on my own today, got a lot done, nothing went wrong, so it's obviously the other two that are making all the mistakes.
Don't see much in my family at all at the moment.
So the families came to see them. And with just a day to go, Pure Adrenaline was looking the part.
It's now 1:15 in the morning, and we think we've done it. We've worked hard, and we're well impressed with what we've done.
Day 30, and Pure Adrenaline was ready to face the enemy.
What's it like to drive? It's clenched buttocks, basically.
So whose bright idea was it to convert a dumper truck for this?
Yes, I'm guilty, yes.
Oh, you're not regretting it, are you?
No. We particularly like it because it's got articulated movement, which means the front wheels don't actually steer, it's the chassis that steers. It can carry 4 tons in the skip at the front. Of course, we got rid of that, so we were very, very light on the front. So
that's why you've stuck a few pieces of pig iron on the front
there?
Yeah, we've nicked a manhole cover. When he falls down,
that's just since you've been here you've done
that?
Yeah.
So,
right.
Any injuries, it's down to us. Somebody's fallen down the hole. We're sorry, but we needed it.
So you're in second position at the moment with 4 points, thanks to Magic's magic driving and bump cars.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And we're now going to relive one great moment of glory.
2 down, 2 to go. Our poor unsuspecting teams may think they're high and dry, but wait till they're driving in reverse. underwater. Well, we have quite a treat lined up for them. Wetropolis, a race against the clock obstacle course around our foul, festering lagoon. That's coming up right after this.
Here at Full Metal Challenge, we take no prisoners. Our next game will decide who goes to the finals and who ends up in here, the great incinerator in the sky.
But which team that's going to be is anybody's guess, because the scores at the moment couldn't be any more close. Have a look at this.
We're 2 games in and you couldn't squeeze a toothpick between our teams. It's 3-way even Stevens with 4 points apiece.
Are you the kind of person who drives around a puddle so you don't splash a pedestrian? Or are you the kind of person who drives right into the puddle and soaks the guy? Or are you the kind of person who drives into the puddle, soaks the guy, shifts into reverse, backs up, and soaks the guy again and again and again and again? Well, here at Wetropolis, polite driving gets you sent home.
Our wetlands are 3 acres of putrid swamp. The water's up to 2.5 feet deep, so there's every chance of drowning, especially when our course takes in all our fire hydrants, some of which we've found it necessary to put in the deepest parts. If they do a hit and run on any of our road signs or pedestrians, they'll be punished with a 10-second time penalty for each one.
Our teams will race one at a time and must make a complete loop around each of our 3 giant fire hydrants. The order in which they circle them is up to them, but what's not up for discussion is they have to do all their looping in reverse. The fastest time from start to finish will be the winner.
Canadian Benoit's first to take to the lake, and it's time to ask whether the Snowdigger's tank doubles as an amphibious vehicle.
There's the green flag. He's off. Well, I guess that's a yes.
The name of the game here is speed, but they also need to make sure their engine doesn't get a dunking, so he's doing a good job staying nice and high. In fact, he's practically planing. Into reverse for that first hydrant, and this is when shifting gears could let water into the engine and cause problems. Driving backwards is also tricky in a hurry.
But he's beautifully round the first hydrant.
1 down.
It's like a super-powered, hypercharged dumpster.
Well, I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off for those tracks in the water so deeply, but actually he's looking like he's doing really well.
God knows how we can see where he's going.
Going around the second hydrant.
Oi, watch the little children!
Beautiful.
Second hydrant, no problem. They said they wanted mud and water to test the Steel Survivor, and they got it.
This fearless French-Canadian here in the setting UK sun.
It really is one heck of an impressive beast. Those tracks really coming into their own in the water. Hydrant numero 3. Merci beaucoup.
All that power from their mighty engine translating into some serious forward motion.
Well, this seems to be the vehicle for all these courses so far. The Germans and the English are going to definitely have their work cut out for them.
Oh, almost took out the jazz musician. All right. And Benoit is one happy, if damp, little fella.
That was fantastic! Congratulations!
The throttle was right in the floor. He's saying that there's plenty of water over there. He wants to do it again. Yes.
Plenty of water maybe, but not enough to put a dampener on the unstoppable Steel Survivor's hopes here.
Your timing, which we've now been given, completely without penalties, was 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Yeah? Are we happy with that? Can that be bettered?
I think nothing beats this.
Nothing beats it? Well, we'll find out, because up next we've got the British team, the Battle Bodgers. Let's see if they can do better.
Well, with a dumper truck on the start line, it doesn't look the most likely contender. But stranger things have happened than England winning.
There he goes.
There goes Magic, and it's time for him to work some. He has a huge engine and some handy articulated steering on his side.
But he doesn't seem to be as fast at the start as those Canadians.
You two both look so worried. Look at you, come on!
All right.
Come on, watch out, man.
Are you afraid of getting wet?
But with that articulated steering, it's got to be hard driving that thing in reverse, as anyone who's ever tried to back up a trailer could testify. But he's round the first hydrant. It's top speed for pure adrenaline, but is it fast enough? At least their engine's high up enough to be relatively safe from a soaking.
Wrestling with the steering around hydrant 2. No. He's showing signs of life. Oh, I think he's taking out the underwater cameraman.
Oh, but he still keeps going. Okay, now he's going up to the third hydrant.
No penalties, he's doing well on that.
And it's a smoother shift into reverse gear to take on hydrant 3. The engine has avoided a soaking, but Magic hasn't. Now it's the race to the finish line, and Magic is gunning it like his life depends on it, which it probably does.
Well, there's no way he beat the time of the French Canadians, I think. The best he can do now is hope the Germans can't beat him.
And he's back.
Well done, Magic!
Well done, good.
Excellent, excellent. Kept going. You stink, but excellent.
He does stink.
Is that you or the water?
Take your helmet off so we can talk to you.
Yeah. Excellent.
How was that?
Wet.
How did it feel in there?
What was happening? The front wheels were turning and bringing the front up in the water.
Oh, is that what was going on? We thought you were planing it out there.
Started off really slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong gear.
I just thought I'll go for it.
Okay, so I've got to tell you, your time, 2 minutes and 56 seconds.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad. All we need to do,
Yeah.
as we said before, is beat the Germans. If we beat the Germans, we've done it. We're in the final.
And you don't mean that in any nationalistic sense,
no,
obviously.
no.
We've done enough of that just lately.
5-1. 5-1.
5-1, no one wants to mention it.
It's all down to the Autobahn boys. Watch them either sink or swim right after this.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge. It's the last run of Metropolis, and we're about to find out if the Autobahn boys are going to the final or the big end.
So everything comes down to the Germans. If they beat the Brits, they're staying. If they don't, they're going home.
And there he goes. Go, man, go. I cannot help my bias. I love this car.
It's a great start, but their engine's more vulnerable than the other machines, being closer to rather a lot of water.
Nice and steady's gonna win it, maybe.
Hurry up, man. He's up to the first hydrant and he's in reverse, but he's losing time there. Their V8 engine isn't firing on all cylinders, and I don't think Christian is either. He's having a hissy fit at the machine. Damn German car!
Are you worrying?
Yeah, I'm very worried.
Why are you worrying?
About the engine and water.
All that water on their screaming engine is making a smoke screen, and that stuttering noise makes it sound like Humongous is spitting blood.
He's losing a lot of time on the turns and taking a lot of water on board. All right. It's impossible to say if he's faster than the Brits. It's just will and determination getting him through this one.
Come on, man.
Remember, the Canadians are in the lead, so with everyone on level pegging, it's the Brits the Germans really need to beat.
Round hydrant number 3, and no penalties so far, but I think he might have lost a few more cylinders of that engine.
Go, flat out. It's a race to the finish on whatever the machine has left. Oh, another dead cameraman. He's shouting at the machine again. I think he's lost the plot. Come on! And Humongous is happy to be back on dry land.
Let's go tell him he's a hero. Nice one, sir.
Keiner hat's besser gemacht. Super.
Tell us how that was, how that felt for you.
It was great,
Yeah?
but
I think Humongous is not okay. We have an V8 and this was just 4-cylinder.
It was a V4.
Yeah, he's not enough power.
He didn't
so
sound happy in there.
I feel like a turtle, very slow.
Underwater.
And,
a German turtle. Okay, after much discussion from the referees, I can tell you your time. And there was a lot of debate with your score about whether there was one obstacle that went down, but apparently it was a wave that knocked it down rather than your driving. Your time was 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Which does something very interesting to the scores. Have a look at this.
Those poor old Brits lose out by just 10 miserly seconds to come bottom of the heap in our Everglades, with a paltry 1 point. The Germans splutter home on 4 cylinders into second place and 2 points, and the mighty Steel Survivor shows its true mettle and picks up the big 3-pointer.
So overall, the scores look like this. Those battling Bodgers have fought their last skirmish, and now it's time for them to fall on their swords at our Chimney of Doom.
Well, Battle Bodgers, your vehicle is the least effective out there today, so I must say goodbye. I would shed a tear, but guys like me have no tear ducts in our bodies because we're so damn mean. But if I could shed a tear, I wouldn't, because that thing would probably break underneath the weight of it. Yeah. So let's take this vehicle out of its misery. Bye-bye, pure adrenaline.
So the Brits have gone to the great motor mausoleum in the sky, but the Germans and Canadians have still got to wrestle with one final challenge, and it's sumo for cars.
Uh-oh.
Ramming speed!
Oh my word!
So keep your hands off this.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, and for the Snow Diggers and the Autobahn boys, the fun's about to start.
There were tens aplenty in 10-pin, with the Canadians and the Germans equally desirous of total pentastic annihilation.
Yeah!
They were twinned again in bumper cars, with equal points in the Destructathon, though both lost out to a dolled-up dumper truck. In Metropolis, there was at least a clear winner as the Canadians almost walked on water to romp home in record time. But none of that matters now, because all previous scorecards are hitting the trash can as we get down and dirty in sumo.
There's sumo, the ancient Japanese discipline of adult obese men in diapers grappling and groping each other, and then there's sumo Full Metal Challenge style.
Oh my God!
Well, which one would you choose? I thought so!
In previous challenges, if one vehicle's damaged another, it's been a byproduct of the game. In sumo, it is the game, because the way you win here is by shoving your opponent unceremoniously outside the ring. Or you can disable them inside it, because we've got caltrops to burst tyres, we've got golf balls to slide over, and we've got barbed wire to tie up tracks. Basically, if it's nasty, we've got it.
In the blue corner, the massive Steel Survivor weighs just under the maximum 3-ton weight limit. It's already proved itself a formidably fast and manoeuvrable adversary, but will those tracks prove vulnerable when it comes to contact sport?
In the red corner, the considerably smaller Humongous, weighing less than 2 tons. What it lacks in size, it makes up for in engine capacity with a whopping brute of 7.5 liters. It has a top speed of over 100 miles an hour, which it might well need to outmaneuver the opposition.
So who will be crowned king in the dirtiest duke out of them all? The Mad Max machine fresh from the Autobahns, or the steely nerved tank from Elkland?
I am here with Chris from the Autobahn Boys, right here in the mighty Humongous. Chris, you have a very intense and violent game ahead of you, and you have a very intense and violent vehicle to do it all with. My question to you is, sir, are you ready to rock?
I'm combat ready for rock and roll.
I know you are. All right then.
So Benoit, you've got a big weight advantage here, but have you got any particular strategy for the contest?
Just wait the good moment.
So play it cool
Play
and
cool
strike when it's right.
Yes.
Can't say fairer than that. Good luck.
Thank you.
Each round of fuel-injected fisticuffs lasts for 2 minutes, or until someone surrenders, is incapacitated or shoved out. And out means right out of the biggest black ring.
Gentlemen, start your engines! 5, 4, 3, 2, fire! The German machine is on fire! I'm not talking metaphorically either.
The engine's overheated and Christian's legging it from the machine and away from that molten lava. Benoit's not far behind. Thankfully, the firemen are headed the other way.
They've got to it pretty quickly, but I hope this isn't the end of the road for Humongous.
The only idea that I have maybe that coming oil out of the valve cover to the exhaust.
Luckily, it's just a superficial wound. The oil had overheated and bubbled up over the red-hot engine casing, but they've checked it, refilled it, and Christian's ready to get back in the hot seat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Sumo! And this time they're not messing around with any campfires. They mean business. It takes a bit to put the fear into Humongous, but Christian is legging it away from that 3-ton rampaging tank. But oh no! One of the Canadians' tracks has come off. This could be a disaster!
Benoit did that amazing tank pirouette, hit our speed bumps at an awkward angle, and hasta la vista missed a track.
The Steel Survivor is a sitting duck, and the German has him in the line of fire.
Those poor Canadians can't believe their eyes.
Ooh, he gets the first punch from a determined Humongous.
The Germans must be hoping that if they can do enough damage to those tracks or the wheels inside them, that they'll be able to disable the Steel so-called Survivor.
The Germans are almost a ton lighter, so it's almost impossible for them to push that Canadian brood out, let alone sideways.
Benoit somehow managed to get the track back on. It's nothing short of a miracle. You wouldn't think you could do a shimmy in a tank, but he just tweaks that track skid brake in reverse and bingo.
And now Humongous is on the ropes. He can't get it into gear, and there's a guy in a 3-ton tank eyeballing him. Ramming speed! He's being mounted by a killer tank. It's too much for him. The Germans have surrendered. Christian must have been wetting himself. First bombarded by 3 tons of solid steel, then attacked by a killer hydraulic bumper coming through his window.
But all jolly good sportsman-like behaviour, and Germans and Canadians celebrate a darn good fight.
You have done a good job with your vehicle.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great thing.
Thank you, guys. It's been very nice to compete against you guys.
At first, it looked like the Canadians were a goner with their tracks off and the Germans mounting an all-out offensive. But in the end, the Steel Survivor lived up to its name and put more than just the boot in to finish off one terrified German.
All right, Autobahn boys, you competed great today, but you're going home because you lost. It was great having you. Until the next time.
Congratulations.
Good driving, great vehicle. And be looking for these guys, because they're going on to the next round.
These guys!
Right on, Snow Diggers.
They're going to the semi-finals! And we'll see you next time on Full Mel Challenge.
Yeah!
So the Snow Diggers have dug their path to the semi-finals, and in the next show, 3 new teams from the Midlands in the UK, the Badlands of California in the US, and Reykjavik in Iceland will be scuffling it out to see who will join them there.